Yeah, these people show up at practice in like a brand new Escalade. You're like, where'd you get
You're
that
like,
thing
"Oh,
from?
where did that come from?"
Yeah.
That's weird. All right, dude. Let's get into fishing, but before we do that, let's do the housekeeping. We got Monster Bass again on the coming up. We'll talk about that. Go to realaftv/contact. Give us some feedback on the show. Remember that Spotify just went live with their reviews, so give us reviews over there. Also iTunes, because iTunes is big in the podcast game. So really help us out if you go to Apple Podcasts and review the podcast there. And Tim, you got to talk quick because you got a 2022 fishing goal out of the way already.
I got myself a underwater camera for ice fishing, but I'll totally use it in the summer too. But it's
You can't use it because it's a real camera. Like it's a
yes.
1080p real camera, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there's
It is.
rules in the summer
Well,
about that, right?
I'll have to look into it. From my understanding, like I've heard a couple of people talking, and I don't know, maybe Minnesota's different, but you can use them in the summer. I've heard people talking about using them in the summer.
Okay.
I've used them in the summer. I've never looked into it.
Mm.
Kind of trying to keep myself naive on that one. What do you mean I can't use it? I use it in the winter.
Right.
But I don't know. No, I should check it out. But I don't use it like as I'm fishing. I just use it to look around, just to try
Yeah,
to
I
get an
think that's what
idea
it
of what I'm
is like,
looking
I
at.
think you can't drop it in there and then drop lure on top of them.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I'm not
Situation.
doing both at the same time. Like I'll look
Right.
sometimes, trying to get an idea of, in
Like
certain
what's in
depths
the
where
weed
I'm
bag.
at. Like, yeah, or
Mhm.
just what kind of weeds I'm looking at.
Right.
Try to get myself a better angler as far as like the depth finder goes. Being like, I feel like how it looks like the bottom, it's showing like a different transition here. Between like sand and then like
Mhm.
the muck. Like,
Mhm.
so I'm
Mhm.
trying to understand the differences there, and sometimes I'll whip out the camera to just be like, confirmed, or be like, nope, I was wrong. I don't know what the hell I was
Confirmed.
seeing. You know, affirmative. But but
Fuck.
um,
Oh,
dude,
that's
my
great.
brain is not working though. Like I get off on these side tangents, and I'm like, what the fuck was I talking about?
Well, you're
This
just talking
is
about the
this
ice
is the
camera.
second time.
You already
Oh
said it.
yes, the ice camera. Yes,
Yeah, you said it. You
super
got it.
dope. I'm
It's
pumped
fucking
on it.
awesome.
It's Markham's, like, um top of the line one, so it's actually
Sweet.
more of like a handheld one. It says, and it's dude, it's a 5 inch, might even be 5.5 inch screen, but there's like
That's
almost
like the size
nothing
of a good
to it.
phone. Like that's the size of a phone.
Yeah, and there's almost nothing to it besides that.
Sweet.
It has an internal lithium ion battery. It
Nice.
records in full HD at 60 frames a second, and I just have to
Nice.
pop an SD card in it.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, I don't have to dick around with anything else. Like, I don't. Some of these other ones I were looking at, there's just like, oh yeah, if you want to record, all you got to do is get this external
This
thing and like have
external.
batteries for both and have everything
Yep.
charged up and
Right.
have the wires going from one to the other. And I'm just
Yeah.
like, I can spend a little bit more money and have this small package that just does everything for me at once.
Yeah, dude.
Bingo. And
That is
shout
bitchin'.
out to the dudes at Markham, because I see them all the time as
Mhm.
a delivery driver,
Mhm.
and they hooked me up with a deal on this one too. So I got the M3 flasher unit from them, and now I have the camera too. So I'm set up on Markham.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah, so I'm super
Awesome.
pumped on that. It should be a good time. It's going to be a real good tool for learning, to be able to see exactly like
Mhm.
what my baits are doing,
Mhm.
what's getting the fish like interested. Like, did they
Right.
look at it and then swim away? Did they just happen to be there and didn't give a shit about my bait?
Right.
It's
Yep.
going to be a real good learning tool, I feel.
Yeah, because you're
So
gonna be seeing the fish behavior right there, first person,
yep,
like
yep,
literally live TV.
yep. And I'm going to be
So
putting it
cool.
to use this weekend. Got a
Nice.
weekend getaway up on Ottertail which is
Nice.
a world-class walleye fishery, so I don't know
Yeah.
if I
So
should have
as this
said.
drops, you'll be done when this
Yep,
comes out.
yep, and I maybe shouldn't have said that part because now it's gonna be embarrassing if I don't catch any fish.
Right. I
But
was gonna say, now you know you have to come
yeah,
back with footage. I hope you found an
but
SD
it's
card because
yeah,
you gotta
yeah.
get some footage now.
But I'm also going up there with a bunch of people that don't fish, and we're just having like a
Yeah.
chill weekend. And one of the days, I'm like really gonna hit it hard and try to get some fish out there.
Bitch.
And I think before we go, I'm gonna try to get uh, a panner too, a wireless panner. And so what it does is you put the cable in this thing, and then the camera hangs down. And
Mhm.
turning a camera can get finicky, like with the cable and stuff. It can kind of move too much or too little.
Mhm.
And this has arrows. It's like a key fob. Like it's shaped just like Chevy's key fobs always were.
Okay.
If you pull this up and look at it, they look just like Chevy's old key fobs.
Okay.
And it has just a right and a left, and you can hit right and a left, and it just makes these micro adjustments. It
Really?
just turns, and it'll turn the
Really?
camera for you.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. So instead of like getting down there and trying to like twist the thing with my hand and stuff, I can have this key fob
Right.
just chilling, turn the camera, kind of be watching it, and if a fish
Sure.
bites, I'm not dicking around with the camera. I don't have anything in my hand but the fob.
Right.
And the fob
Fucking
has a
cool.
little keychain on it or whatever. I can like hook it on my wrist, and then just like I can
Yeah,
literally
because you don't
just
wanna
let it
drop down a
go.
fucking hole.
Yeah, I'll just let it go. I'll just let it drop, and it'll hang from my wrist while I fight a fish.
Right.
Hopefully,
Yep. Yep.
you know. So
Dude,
yeah,
kick
I'm
ass.
super pumped on getting out there. Bought another new rod. Shields had some clam Dave Getz rods that are
Nice.
normally $100 for
Jeez.
50. They're like half off. So I'm like,
What? An ice rod?
yeah,
Rod and
yeah.
combo.
Nope, just the rod.
What the
Dude,
fuck,
that's like
dude?
I've seen some
Oh
like
my god.
I've seen some gnarly. There's 115, 130. I've seen 100 and like
What?
$70 rods out there.
Holy shit, dude.
It's crazy how much money some of these rods are. And
That
this
is
one,
crazy.
like sometimes I think to myself, like, why did they mark it half off? I don't.
Right, 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 right.
But even still, I'm like, I'm a beginner. Like, even at a half off price, if it's not worth $100, I didn't pay $100 for it, and it's for
Right,
sure way nicer than any of the other rods I have. So
right,
I'll
right.
take it.
Exactly.
And it's light as fuck. I ended up pairing that up with the carbon. Oh, dude,
Ooh, shit. Ooh,
that
shit.
new reel and that. Plus, it's got a blue handle, and I had this green tape because it doesn't have the reel seats. You put the tape on it.
Yep.
I
Yeah,
know I'm
yeah.
going off on a tangent right now, but it's like
No,
lime
keep
green
going.
with the blue, and
Oh,
it's
fuck yeah.
Timberwolves colors. And then I
Yes,
got this
that's what
like
I was
chrome rim
it's that
looking,
blue. Fuck yeah,
yeah. And then
dude.
the chrome rim looking reel. It's like, oh, dude,
You
I
better
just
get some fucking pictures up on the gram
love
for
the
that
way it
one.
looks. Love it.
You better get that one. Dude, get some photos. We're getting
Oh
those up
yeah,
on the
for
internet.
sure. Yep. I'm getting some photos up for sure
Yeah,
after this weekend because there's no
yeah.
way I'm not taking pictures. I mean, as long knock on wood, as long as I don't like drop
Dude,
my phone down the
I don't
hole.
care. I just wanna see them with right. As long as you don't drop your
I'm
ring.
just like
Yeah, okay.
I'm just
Good
like
point, good point.
I gotta make sure I don't jinx it and like lose
Right.
all my photos.
You're like, "So it would have been up, but"
Yeah, but
Yeah, dude, fuck yes. Make sure to give pictures of at least the reel. Hopefully, you get some fishing pictures. But let's get in the fishing topic here before we just
yes,
end up talking only
right,
about 'tis the season, so we gotta let ice fishing roll. But
right.
I have something I gotta get off my chest. The
Let's hear it.
armored catfish, dude.
Oh, dude,
Okay,
they're gnarly.
have you ever heard of this thing before?
So I have. And the reason that I have is because I looked into it because I saw somebody catch one, and
Yes.
I thought they
Okay.
caught one of those things that cleans the tanks in the wild. You
Uh-huh.
know what I'm talking about? Like the
Cleans the tanks in the
it's
wild. I don't know what that means.
no, so I said it kind of weird, but like you know that fish that you
Oh,
get in your
oh, oh.
fish tank that cleans everything that's constantly like
Yeah.
sucking on everything?
Yeah, yeah. Uh-huh.
I saw like this person catch it out of a lake,
Yep.
and I thought it was just a big one of those, and I was like, "Those are around here? Like, you can just catch the fish tank cleaners in the water?" And then it turned out that was one of those armored catfish and not the same thing, but it just looks kinda like that.
Yeah. Well, that was here in Minnesota?
I can't remember where it was, but just seeing it caught, I do every time I see somebody with a fish where it's in like a, there's like evergreens in the background. I'm like, oh, is that here? Like so,
Right.
and
Right.
I don't know if I ever even figured out where it was from. I just figured
Well,
out that it wasn't one of
funny.
those things.
Funny you bring it up like that because these are tank cleaner fish.
They are?
Totally are, dude.
Because that's what I was trying to figure out. And I'm like,
Yeah,
they're
they
like
are.
armored catfish. And I'm like, well, you don't call those tank cleaner things armored catfish. So I thought it was a different thing.
No, they have super weird names um that are like as I was doing my research, they have these weird names that I just couldn't even pronounce.
Yeah.
I'll let you give a shot at the name of what the family is later if you got the doc open. We'll
Oh,
get to
yeah.
that
I
in a
can take a
second, but
look.
it's just funny how you bring it up because yeah, as you read it, as I'm reading about him, as I'm doing the research, it's just like, yeah, I have this way down at the bottom of the doc, but yeah, man, people just dumped him out.
Really?
They were tank cleaners. They are tank cleaners. I
So,
just couldn't believe it that you were just like, "Hey, I thought it was." It is.
damn, dude. That's crazy. So my research, I
Yeah.
guess I didn't do enough research. I'm like, is that a tank cleaner fish? And then they're like armored catfish. And I'm like, damn, looks like a tank cleaner.
Right. Which again, yeah, they are. So it's not that it's not an armored catfish and it's not that
Oh,
it's not a tank
dude.
cleaner. They're the same fucking thing. And it's not all armored catfish are tank cleaners, right? They're so as you look it up, there's two main ones that are loose now in the United States. Um, but I want to tell you how I saw this and why I was like, dude, I gotta fucking do a topic on this. I need to tell Tim. So on Discovery Plus, nope,
Yeah.
Disney Plus.
Okay.
Will Smith dropped a new Nat Geo special. It's called Welcome to
Oh,
it's called Welcome to Earth. And so I usually get up uh, uh excuse me. I usually get up early on the weekends with the baby and I put on a nature show. And then eventually the house starts waking up and we move around and I just let the nature show roll. And this was one of those instances where it's just rolling. And then
yeah.
I come from out of the kitchen, back into the living room, and I look at the TV and I'm going, what the fuck? That's a catfish. And it is walking. What the fuck
Oh,
is going on? It was walking across sand dunes. And it kept walking and it kept walking, walked right into a pond and swam the fuck away. And I was just like, what?
oh,
What the
damn,
fuck
dude.
just happened? I'm
I
like,
didn't know
that's
they
a
could
catfish.
walk.
I know it's a catfish. What the fuck? And I rewound it and I found out the name. And then I just went on. I was like, okay, here we go. I'm going to figure out what the hell's going on here.
Dude.
I was like, this is the missing link. This is how amphibians are born. Like this was a
Right.
fish or this was a lizard and now it's a fish. Like what?
Dude,
This
I
is
wonder if
some
all
sort of
those,
middle evolution thing.
yeah, I wonder if all those like bottom dwellers, if they just have like the go get 'em attitude, have the ability to like do that where they're
Right.
just like, dude, can you imagine like how is this shared knowledge? Like they only know their world. They've never
Right.
been out of their world. They
Right.
can't speak.
Right.
Maybe they're able to like communicate telepathically somehow, like
Right.
how wolves and stuff seem to be able to. But
Well,
all of a
wolves are
sudden,
vocal. These fish
well,
are
right,
vocal.
that's very
Even
true.
quote
But I mean,
unquote.
even still, like they seem to like as far as like hunting goes,
Oh,
they'll
right.
instead of
Yeah.
like howling, all of a sudden they'll like gang up on a pack and they'll like or the pack will
Mhm.
gang up on something and move like in unison, and you're like, how
Yep.
in the fuck are they choreographing this attack? And they're not saying shit.
Right.
But like just on blind faith, they're like, I will leave the water where I will get way too much oxygen,
Right.
and
Right.
I'm just gonna fucking army crawl to the next body of water because there's got to be more than this. Like what?
Right. Right. Like
And you
what
don't have
what
like they
was the
don't
first
have
one that just started doing that? What the
yeah,
fuck was its
and they're
motivation?
fucking dumb. For sure they're not smart, but the fact that
Mhm.
their brain has the ability to even think like, "Oh, on to the next body of water," like
Right. This one's
to
getting
even
pretty
know it's a
shitty.
thing. Dude, I don't know. It's
Away I
crazy.
go.
Yes, a very good question. What was the first one to do that? Do any of the other ones even know? I guess there's so many questions when it comes to
I
nature
know.
too, where they're like, I'll swim up river. I'm just gonna jump up this, waterfall
Yep.
because that's where I gotta go lay my eggs. Like,
Right.
I don't know how they know any of this shit.
It's fucking so crazy because yeah, they're not
Dude,
intelligent like when you compare them to, dolphins, humans, orangutans, like that's what we perceive as intelligent. You look at this dipshit fish and it just starts crawling on land and you're like, "What the hell is going on here?" But so
dude,
the funny thing, okay, go ahead.
I know you were talking about like, little inside baseball for
Mm,
anybody at home.
mhm.
Josh cannot see me.
Oh yeah.
So currently I could see him. So if it looks like I'm looking down, it's because I can see him, but he cannot see me. So uh just to kind of like let that out, I was like looking down the whole time. I'm saying that because I also want him to know that I wasn't looking at the camera for a little while because I was looking down at my phone trying to look at this pronunciation here.
Oh, yeah,
And
because I didn't look it up.
dude, what do you do with a double I? What is that? There's two eyes next to
Yeah, I
each
don't
other.
know.
What noise
I
does
don't
that
know
make?
because even
So
in, like, Spanish, they have the double L.
yeah, I don't
This is
know.
seriously 2 I's right
So
next to
this
each other. I copied
this
that.
I'm gonna say if
Copied and
I would
pasted.
have read this myself,
Mhm.
I would have said like Loricaridae. Loricaridae. But here, check
Sure.
this out. You ready?
Yep.
Don't give me an ad, you dumb bitch.
Loricariidae.
Oh, dude.
Loricariidae.
Car-E-day.
Loricariidae.
Loricaridae.
Yeah, you
I
got it.
I
It's
got
more
it.
of an E sound than an I sound, I think.
Yeah. Loricaridae.
Yep.
I don't
So
know.
you got it, dude. That's what
Fucking
fish
tank
family
cleaner
they
fish.
are. So, like, armored catfish is sort of just, like, the name for the fish, and that's the
Yeah.
family, and then in
Okay.
the United States, there's, like, 2 other ones, and their names are in sort of similar format of that Loricardae family. Like, when you look at them, 'em, you're like, "Yeah, that is what you would name that fish." Uh,
Yeah.
but, like, they're all armored catfish. There's several different species, and it's kind of like they keep finding different ones,
Yeah.
but there's 2 that have specifically been let go in the United States. I didn't write them down because, again, too much to they're just such weird pronunciations. Just know that an armored catfish is an armored catfish, and you'll find what you're looking for. But
Right.
as soon as you start doing research, dude, Texas Invasive Species Institute and eaters or eattheinvaders.org, like those are the 2 sources that I went to because I like food
Yeah.
and I think it's cool to eat invasive species. I think it's a good idea to eat invasive species. And then Texas Invasive Species Institute was like one of the first hits besides Wikipedia. And I was just like, oh, and I kept scrolling, and it's just endless information about how these are invasive species to the United States. And I'm like, okay, well, that's the direction this is going. Not exactly what I was thinking it was going to be about,
Yeah.
but yeah.
I
And
can't believe that those are catfish even. I thought they were suckers. It's weird to hear that they're
mhm,
in the catfish family and not the sucker family.
yeah, yeah, because they're still called armored catfish, and that's what they are. They don't eat like regular catfish necessarily, because they're mostly algae. But it
Right.
said
Yeah,
it
bottom
like, you
feeders.
look
Yeah,
them up,
okay.
they it
Well, I
said
guess
they
Yeah.
have sucker mouths.
That's
Yeah,
yes.
they suck the algae off
Yeah,
of
because
logs and shit.
catfish are bottom feeders too, but they eat
They
meat.
are.
So
Right.
that makes sense
Mhm.
that they're completely different.
Yeah.
I wonder what they taste like though. Now they're too fucking expensive. I was gonna say, let's just go to a pet store, but too much money. That's
Well,
crazy.
and they're probably not as big, I would guess. I don't know for
No, I
sure
think they
because
get
I've never
pretty
done the
big.
kid thing much.
They get pretty big, but you probably get crucified for doing some shit like that because they get pretty big, but because of the age and stuff, they probably charge you like $130, and you're like, this one's lived for 25 years, and you're like,
Yep.
it's the perfect eater size.
Right. You're like, what the fuck, dude?
Yeah, if anybody heard that, you'd instantly like PETA and everybody be all over you, and you're just like, it's a fucking fish. They're like, a fish that lived in a pet store. And it's like, it doesn't. Yeah, no, that's better, right? Let's
Right.
just
Yeah.
keep it in a fucking cage for its whole
Right.
life.
Yep. Right. No, I'm totally with you on that because yeah, it's like what's the so I don't live in Texas, like I couldn't fucking find one.
Right,
But
right.
so anyways, the thing is the size, right? Because I bet you they do have the big ones. They have to, right? Because people have giant fucking fish tanks. That's
Right.
true. But they're anywhere from 3 inches to 3 feet. So you got to think those little 3-inch ones are
Yeah. People probably
babies, and
want
that's
big
probably
ones,
what you have in
dude.
a tank.
There's our new business plan. We go down to Texas, catch a bunch of these things, bring them back up here, and sell them for $130 a piece. It's been living in this pet store for 30 years. We just got it from Texas.
We just transported it up. Oh,
Find them hopping out the fish tank, walking across your living room. He does that.
sometimes he just gets out, starts walking across the floor. What? I don't know. I just pick him up, put him back in the tank. No big deal.
Keep
What?
your toilet lid closed. He's looking for new water.
He's like, found him in the dog dish one time. Oh shit, that's so funny. Okay, so I haven't even said why these things are called armored catfish. That's one thing that I forgot because I was like right away when I heard the name, I was like armored catfish. I was like, yeah, it looks tough. I noticed like it looks like a catfish. Okay, whatever. But I guess they're called armor because they basically have like bony plates behind their neck. It's like their heads are soft still, but the
Okay.
rest of it is just like they literally were described as bony plates.
Bony plates.
And I was like, holy shit. And there's different patterns. So I want to hear about the one that you saw. I wonder if you remember it. But the more common ones, it almost looks like a muddy brown base with these like black tire track marks over it almost.
Yeah, dude, it looks like a tire. Yeah, I'm just looking at some pictures right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the one I saw, I mean, like, if you've ever seen what I'm talking about, like the tank cleaner, the one I saw looks like the tank cleaner.
Yeah.
Like, it's black and it almost kind of looks like a, it's like a, if anybody knows the coloring of like a burbot, because those are in like Minnesota. Burbot is kind of like a weird fish. I don't know how to describe it. It's like almost like eel pout looking kind of.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe they're
Kind of
one
like
and the same kind of
like
thing.
long, skinny kind of thing.
No, they're fat. Like,
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
But that's kind of what a armored catfish is similar. In
Well,
that
the coloring kind of like
Okay.
reminds me of that. They're so freshwater cod, freshwater eel pout, burbot and eel pout are the same thing. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So they're the same thing. So but they're kind of colored like just kind of like speckled almost, like there's no barring. There's just kind of like dots.
Oh,
And
on the
this is
burbot?
almost, yeah, on the
Okay.
burbot, and it's kind of like reminding me of that coloring, but it's more like
Lines that aren't
calculated.
straight.
Yeah, I don't know how
Yeah,
to
they're not
say it.
straight lines, but the lines
Yeah,
seem to be purposeful,
yes,
like a
like a
tire tread.
you're right. Yeah, like there's a pattern to it instead of
Mhm.
just like the burbot or the eel pout looks like there's just kind of like speckled spots, and
Waving
there's
the
really
rainbow.
no like rhyme or reason. It's just kind of spots.
Mhm,
And
mhm.
then this is like very like there's a purpose, like you said, and then the body looks tough. There's almost like ridges that go along it, so it doesn't look
Yeah,
armor plated. Like I just saw a picture of what you were talking about that looks like a tire. This one doesn't look so much like a tire. It just looks tough. It looks kind of like
like, you can
a
see the bony plates on it, right?
yeah, it looks
Yeah,
more yeah, it kind of looks more like a shark, but with a
for sure.
really big, not a dorsal fin like a shark, but a dorsal fin like a regular fish where it has the spines
Yeah.
in it. You know what I'm talking about? Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
and it looks kind of like a shark, but with a dorsal fin that's way big for its body.
Yeah, and that those are so not only are they super, like, tough on the outside, not only is there, like, these bony plates on the outside,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, there is the you probably know this one better than I do, the ad Adapose fin?
No, I don't know the names of the
Okay, so
fins
it's the
very
y
well.
okay, it's this fin between the tail fin and the dorsal fin.
Okay,
There's a fin right there that has a big old spine in it, and then both pectoral fins, the little swimmer front fins,
okay,
those
yeah.
have big spines in it, and yeah, some of them on the dorsal fin have a spine in it too. Like, these things are badass as
Oh
fuck,
yeah,
dude.
they're
So
tanks, dude. Yeah, that catfishes have those spines.
right,
Like bullheads and shit. It's
yeah,
crazy. They just,
right.
man, yeah, they're badass.
Yeah, so that must be, like, how it sort of fits in or, gets called the armored catfish and because, like, ugh, those
Yeah,
Jesus.
I don't know if those things. I think like we're like its only natural predator. Like I think we're the only ones that can fuck with it.
Are you talking about for this, the armored catfish?
I think probably the armored catfish, but I think a lot of other stuff too. Like
Right.
because of those spines and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Like another fish might be able to bite it and try to swallow it, but it's not going down.
Right. Yeah,
It
you're dead
it's
on.
its
Nope.
side fins. It's not gonna
Mhm.
inhale it. So and it's I think
Yep.
the same with like all other catfish. Like nothing can touch it except for us. Like we have hands and we're intelligent, so we can like catch these things and just be like, I'm just
Right.
gonna pick you up and not touch those, and then I'm gonna
And
cut you up.
yep,
And
yep.
so
100%, dude. Yeah, that's part of why they're so invasive is because you can't like there is no natural predator to it because of those spikes. It's like those spikes
right,
help it crawl from different bodies of water to on land
dude.
and oh yeah, anything tries to eat it, it just stabs it in the mouth and it lets go.
Right, yeah, because it's even if it
Shake.
manages to not get stabbed, it can't swallow it
It's
because
not going to be able to swallow it.
you
Sure.
got your fish here. It'd be like trying to eat a fucking tripod. Like maybe you get the front of the tripod, like with it all extended. Like maybe you get the front of the tripod in your mouth, but there's no way you're fitting that whole thing in
The whole
there.
thing's not going down. It's just not going to happen. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, I mean, the only thing because they use those spikes to fight too, and I didn't read that they fight to the death, but you have to think something with spikes that big with a soft head. They're probably killing each other when they're
Oh,
fighting.
for sure.
Right?
Yeah,
So
they're
it's like other
landing.
than themselves, they're
Yeah,
sitting pretty good here in these states.
right. There's got to be some incidental kill shots landed here and there, even if
Oh,
it's
for sure,
not
right?
on purpose. Like they
Mhm.
just like turn and like turn back real quick, and then bingo.
Yep, and that was like just right on. Bam, got it.
Yep,
Yeah.
just shut them down.
Yep. And oh, the other reason why they're so invasive too, 4 days or 20 days. See, and this is what I'm saying is like they all kind of look the same, so they can get like mistaken, and that's why I didn't really write down the numbers. It's just kind of like if you're fishing in the area and you want to get armored catfish, you could still be getting two different species that look so similar. Unless you're well trained, you're not going to even know the difference. And so, one could take 4 days to hatch its eggs and the other could take 20. And so
Oh,
there's that, they're a very weird fish from what I figured out, is that there's a bunch of different kinds, but they are all very similar. And so to know the difference between the two is almost, to a casual person, worthless.
yeah. Right.
You just go, I don't know, it's an armored catfish. You just call it fucking
Dude,
armored catfish and be done with
Right,
it.
right. Yeah, they are definitely weird looking fish though, because like the
Mhm.
ones that we're seeing being caught, like what you were talking about, are pretty similar, where they look kind of like flatter, but when you look at them from a profile,
Mhm.
they almost like the face droops down.
Mhm.
And there's one of them that is just like massive in this picture, because this picture that I'm looking at has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Looks like 11 different species,
Uh-huh.
and they are all different colored and all different sizes. And one of them looks like it has a fucking horse face, man. It's like,
No
I've
way.
never seen a fish with a long face.
That's so weird.
Yeah, it's massive. Is it showing?
That is so weird.
Panic. Damn it!
Yeah.
It's not panic, but it's PANAQUE,
Yep.
and then armbrustry, panic,
Yeah.
panaqui,
Yep. That's why I
paniqui,
didn't copy it.
ambrustry. Yeah, I don't know, dude, but if you
But
Google
that's
this,
one of the more common ones, yes.
that's one of the more common ones, dude. This one looks like
But I
it's
don't know that.
insane looking.
Right, but the face that you're talking about, like it could just be different depending on where it is. And the pan part, it probably comes from because they're from Panama. Like they're in that hot Central America area. And that's probably why the names are so weird, because they're the weird scientific name, and they probably got pan from Panama because they come from those hot tropical areas like
Okay.
Panama, Costa Rica, stuff like that. And
Yeah.
so, yeah, that's probably where that comes from. And then, tack on some Latin or whatever the fuck it is.
Right. Yeah. I think that's what all this stuff is the, well, I shouldn't say all this stuff, but like that's what they identify all the fish with around here. I don't know if that's like
Sure.
a universal thing, and that's why Latin
Mm-hmm.
is the language, because it's universally like
Dead.
a
And
dead language is what
Yep.
we all universally decided to use. I don't know.
yeah, the science community does use Latin on purpose because it is a dead language,
Okay.
that it is like no one's language is related to it. And that's why I say, like,
Oh, that makes sense. I never even thought of that before.
yeah. Yep. That's why the science community does it. So that way, when you're dealing with someone from Panama who speaks Spanish and someone up here who speaks English or Spanglish, even better, right? That
Right.
when they say the name of what they're working on,
Yeah.
it's the same thing. It's a like partly Panama mixed with Latin, and nobody. There it is.
Right,
It's
right,
just
right.
there is no similarities. It's just that's
Right.
what it is. So yeah, that I bet you is probably how that one got its name, and it is more common from if I'm unless there's another one that has a very similar name, that is one
Yeah.
of the more common ones, because apparently that's how they got to Texas and Florida, where they're real bad up here in the States,
Mm.
is people would get them as tank cleaners. They'd come,
Yeah.
they'd basically be imported as tank cleaners and then
Right.
throw the shit out on.
Okay.
And there you go.
Do you have your phone by you?
Yeah.
I just sent you the picture that I was looking at, and if anybody wants to look this up, just Google image armored catfish. It's like the second image, and it shows
Yep.
all these different letters. Letter B. Look at where the eyes are.
Yeah. They're way high, like you said. It's
But
like
he's got a
like
long face, like a
like a fish
horse.
face. Yeah, I mean like a horse face. Yeah,
Isn't that? I've never
100%.
seen a fish that looks like that before.
Me neither. But yeah, that is other than image F on this, which is your typical tank cleaner, kind of flat, large sucker lips right in the very front. Yeah,
Yes. Yep.
B is what the majority of them look like. Now, I didn't
Dude,
see
that's
any.
gnarly.
I didn't see any that really had that long of like a, what we think of on like a horse, a snout sort of thing. I didn't see any like that, but that's definitely the more common one. Dude, they even found them in Wisconsin,
Yeah.
which I can't imagine it survives in Wisconsin because of the
Yeah.
weather, right? Like if it's coming from Panama or something, if it's coming from like Central America natively, I just can't imagine that it lives up here successfully. But
Yeah.
the motherfucker gets out of water and climbs across
Right.
land. Oh, which by the way, I saw anywhere from 20 to 30 hours. It can be searching for water. It can be out of the water for 20 to 30 hours.
Jesus, dude. That's crazy.
That's a full day, dude.
Oh
Like
yeah.
a literal full day.
Oh, you know what it can do? Oh man, I'm dumb. Listen, so that fish gets out of the water and then he walks over to the bar, right? So
Yeah. Yeah.
the panic arm brewstery gets out of the water, walks over to the bar. Bartender says, "Why the long face?" Oh, that's why I started
Yes.
laughing about. I told that joke to myself in my head.
The new best first dad joke ever. Oh my god, it's great. Oh, that's so good. Uh okay. How do I come back from that joke?
I don't know. Sorry.
Oh, you know what? We haven't talked about the food part. That's how I'll come out of that joke because that was great. So yeah. Anyways, oh, they gulp air. That's how they do it. You've seen catfish gulp air. Like this
Yeah.
is how I figured out
Yep.
that like when I was watching the Will Smith thing, um, I saw it walking. And I'm like, what the fuck? And then they kind of got on soap side profile, and I was like, I think it's a catfish. And then they showed him gulping air, and I went, that's for sure a catfish because catfish gulp air. Like we've seen catfish gulp air. Like you, right?
Yep.
It's not a
Yep.
weird thing. It's not like something that's you're just like, what catfish do what? So yeah, they gulp air into their stomachs, and that's how they keep it going. That's how they last that long out of water. They're just really fucking good at it and
And it
have
just
figured out how to
absorbs
use their
it.
pectoral fins. Yeah. So somehow their stomach is capable of, if their stomach has air in it, it's providing air to their system.
Dude, that's crazy.
Yeah. And then they just figured out one day, hey, these pectoral fins were made for walking, and they went, or not pectoral fins, sorry. No, that's right. Pectorals are the swimmers. Yeah.
Yep.
Their pectoral fins were made for walking, and they just said, let's do it. We're gonna go to the next body of water.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah.
And,
Or maybe they were trying to go to the bar. Who knows?
any of that stuff too, where like again, nature's nuts. But they have gills. That's how they breathe.
Right.
And then one of them's just like, y'all know we could just eat air? Like, what?
So wait, what'd you say? Yeah, one time I was just eating air, and it turns out I can breathe through my stomach.
Yeah, let me start at the beginning. I decided to go for a stroll, ate some air while I was out there walking around, and yeah, I didn't die. So,
So just saying, take a gulp.
yeah, go for a walk, eat some air, live your life. Don't let anybody tell you have to stay in this pond. Dream big.
Dream big. This is gonna be the next Finding Nemo of the armored catfish, dude.
Right.
The next motivational fish story is coming with armored catfish as the star. So let's talk about cooking here before we wrap this up, because that was something I looked up on purpose, because
Yeah.
it was eattheinvaders.org that had a bunch of this information on it. They don't really take a hook and bait, which I guess you probably figured out right away when I was like, yeah, they eat algae. Like, that's what they do.
Yeah.
So they just net them. Like, how else would you catch it? I'm asking you,
Snag
like,
'em.
legitimately.
Yeah,
Snag 'em?
snag 'em like they do with the paddlefish. Yeah, I don't know.
Sure.
Or you just cast out the weight with the treble hook
Mm-hmm.
and just
Mm-hmm.
hope for the best. Yeah, or net
Right.
them. I suppose when it's an invasive species,
Yep.
they're like, do what you gotta do.
Right. Yeah. Yeah,
Or just
that's
catch them
totally
when they walk out of the water. Just like,
just
they're
wait
not.
for it to crawl out
Yeah,
and then snatch that bitch right off the
yeah.
land.
They're pretty easy to catch when they're walking on their backs.
They're not that fast. They're fish.
They're pretty.
Literally, they're fish out of water.
Yep.
So they the reason why they're so invasive, and this is how you can this is how you can find good netting spots, I guess, like spots to net them, is because
Yeah.
they make a nest like 3 feet into the bank of a river.
Mm.
And that's where they lay their eggs, and then the males will sit there and protect it. So basically, you can find if you find
Oh.
fucked up
Yeah.
banks in an area where you know these armored catfish are, you're like, "Oh, yeah, look at that bank. It's all kind of fucking weird." Like, I don't know
Dude.
what the indicator would be, but, like, dude, if it's digging a 3-foot tunnel into a bank, that's gonna
Yeah.
fuck up a bank.
Right. Dude, I've never even thought about it before, but I bet that that's what they're doing overseas. It's not the armored catfish, but there's
Mhm.
a lot of weird ass overseas videos that I see where there's like a hole in the ground and there'll be like
Yeah.
some water in it, and a dude will come over with like a bottle of like lemon lime soda, and then he'll like screw off the
Oh.
top, pour it in the hole, kind of stir it around with his hand, and then the
Uh-huh.
fish, these weird ass like eel looking fish, just start jumping out of the hole. And you're like,
Oh.
what in the fuck is that? And like, I've never thought
Crazy.
about it, but I bet that's what's happening is that
Yeah.
those are the same kind of like burrowing fish that go in
Right.
there.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, the
The
carbonation hits them
carbonation
and they're
sets
like,
them off.
yeah, and they're just like, oh, what's
Oh,
happening?
dude. Right. They just
Bubbles.
fucking bubbles. Ah!
I gotta get out of here.
Whoa. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I bet that's
Probably.
what's
So, yeah, you
happening.
probably could find something similar. I'd really like to know, hey, if anybody out there listening is from Texas or Florida and is hunting these things down, like, let us know. I'd love to hear about that. But, like, just knowing that they burrow 3 feet in, you go, well, that's super damaging to the land, to the bank.
Yeah.
It's gotta leave a mark. It's gotta be a
Right.
marking that you can see as a human and go, "Nope, throw the net. They're probably there." Um,
Right. For
so
sure.
so then it was really cool to read about how to cook them, because they're armored, but they're bottom feeders, so they still have their soft bellies. So it was like,
Oh.
yeah, you probably already know where I'm going with this, don't you? You can
Well,
grill these bastards up.
yeah, I was thinking about like if you can go into the stomach, like you
Yeah.
like a trout, I would guess.
Yeah.
You
You just
just you
catch them
just
and
gut them and then cook them and then you
yeah.
just eat the food off the armor plates.
Yeah, because they're so armored, you just throw it right over the coals, right on the grill, whatever.
Yeah.
It makes it's like its own little cooking vessel. With the soft stomach, it's easy to cut open with a knife and then poop,
Yeah.
gut the thing and
Crazy.
throw it on. Yeah.
Nuts.
Wasn't that cool? I was like, "Oh, fuck yeah."
Yeah. Yeah. You know, you think about it until you say it out loud and then you're like, ah, yeah.
Right.
I think I know where this is going. Yeah.
Right. Soft belly, hard back. Yeah. This
Yeah.
easy.
He's his own frying pan? Yeah, perfect. Perfect.
Great. Um Yeah,
And they just walk into your backyard. Dude, it's
right,
just like,
and you'll
what
find
a
it just
fish.
walking around.
What a fish. I was thinking about that too. Like,
It will deliver itself to the dinner table.
yeah,
Oh,
they're
perfect.
just, did you net them? Nah, put up a fence. He, he, he walked about a quarter mile down the road, hit the fence, and I just went and just been like, yeah, you can't go anywhere, can you, buddy?
Picked it up. Oh, it's so good. Then the other two things, um, before we wrap it up here was quick. Is I guess I have a lot of hemoglobin, which I know that word, but I'm not exactly sure what that means for muscles. But it said that they're really good ground up because of that. Because I guess hemoglobin
Mm.
makes it kind of tough.
I
So
thought
they actually grind
isn't
well.
isn't hemoglobin? Nah, I'm probably wrong. I don't. For some reason, I'm thinking about hemoglobin is like
It's
something
something in
with
your
your muscles after you work out.
Yeah, and it's something in your blood, and the acid buildup. It's not the lactic acid buildup that
Right.
like makes your muscles
Yeah.
burn. It's not that. But could be related. Hemoglobin is something in your blood, but I don't understand. Like I forget. I don't remember biology that well. So, if you're a biologist, hit us up in the comments
Yeah. Is
so we
the
can.
is the iron containing oxygen transport metalloprotein
Okay.
in the red blood cells of almost all vertebrates as well as the tissues of some invertebrates.
Okay. There we go.
So that would make more sense too to why they can be on the ground. So if it's
Because
the iron containing oxygen transport, if they have more in
mhm,
their blood than normal, then I would
mhm.
assume that they can like their blood can hold more oxygen.
Right. Yep.
So
Pretty fair assumption to make. That's
it's
an
all
educated guess, not even
it's
an
all
assumption.
coming together.
Right. Yeah. Yep. So
All
yeah,
right.
it said because of that. So I guess having a lot of that protein, iron rich
Yeah.
protein in your muscles makes it harder to eat. So they're like, yeah, grind it up. Makes great whatever, ground you can make fish patty. You know what to do with ground fish. If you don't,
Yeah.
we'll talk about it later for sure. We probably already have talked about it. We
Right.
talk about food all
Can't
the time.
wait to make me some armored catfish cakes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm
That'd
talking
be so awesome.
about.
Ooh, this is a good fish cake. What is it? Armored catfish. What the fuck? Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know. It just walked right up to it just
Yeah.
walked up to me.
The fuck is the armored catfish? Saw saw him at the bar.
So yeah, and then soups too, of course. Soups, stews, stuff like that. You just cook
Oh
the fuck
yeah, I'm
out of it,
sure.
right?
Yeah.
Like just like a cow's tongue or whatever. You just throw it in hot, boiling, yummy liquid.
Yeah.
Let it hit it for hours. It'll soften up.
Yeah. I mean that's how like a lot of like the crab cakes and stuff too is you just like
Hmm?
boil the shit, with the other ingredients you can, make. I know one of the recipes I've used before is like boil the potatoes and the fish at the
Oh,
same time and it all kind of like
oh,
incorporates in. So I suppose you could do the same thing.
interesting. Sure.
Yeah.
Huh.
Mm.
Yeah, no, I've never done that. I never heard about that. That's pretty cool.
Time to take a trip to Texas.
Yeah,
Let's
I know.
experiment.
Experiment like let's go net a bunch of fucking armored catfish and just make a entire cooking episode out of it. It sounds
Yep.
fucking awesome. Like seriously, that
Yeah.
sounds like a really good idea.
Yeah. I'm totally down. And we
Yeah,
could like, oh, there's so much you could do in Texas. That's just like part of it.
right. Yeah.
Net all
Oh,
these
for sure.
armored catfish and all this other fun stuff we'll do.
Yeah. And so that armor plating on the outside is like super hard. So I was just like, oh yeah, that would probably fuck you up. You'd probably want to get some sort of glove to clean this fish, I would guess. I would, but the old Russian lady that probably call you a pussy
Right.
using a glove.
Oh, you don't want to get poked? Like, I mean, no.
No, not really. The outside of this fish is really fucking hard. It hurts. That was just a callback to an episode about where we're talking about bullheads. That's like that's who we have to find. You had a
Yep.
really good bit about it. It was great. Anyways, that's enough about armored catfish. I think going out on the cooking note is great, and like the serious thought of us just going, yeah, we should go to Texas. Like we both had that same thought as we're talking about cooking it. Like, or I should say, as I was researching how to cook it, and to hear you say it out loud is like, yeah, man, I had the same thought. Like it would
Yep.
be fucking sweet to just go
Yeah, that
and
was
see what we could do.
yeah, that was a sincere like, I guess we're going to Texas. Yeah.
Right. Because it sounds awesome.
Yes, I
So,
do.
all right. That's a wrap on the armored catfish. I just had to get that out there because when I saw that thing crawling
Wrap.
across the sand, I was just like, oh my God, we have to talk about this damn fish.
That's gnarly.
And we'll hit the break now. We're going to go into the random take where we are going to talk about Microsoft buying Call of Duty and World of Warcraft.
Crazy. Crazy, 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 crazy.
Fucking nuts. All right, let's go to the break.
Yeah.